Hello, my beautiful viewers. I'm here to share with you about a very interesting topic in fish farming called profitability in fish farming. Without wasting any time, let us dig deep into that topic, but without continuing any further, first subscribe and then we get started. Here we are, not forgetting to like and commenting. So my beautiful viewers, I'm your usual host, Chiweru John Mary, the Ugandan farmer for today, and here I am sharing with you about how you can profit in fish farming. Probably today I'm going to tell you and teach you how you can profit in fish farming, particularly about how you can profit in catfish farming. Why catfish farming? Because according to me and the research I've made, it is the most profitable fish species. I love it or not, that is what it is. Why do I say it is the most profitable kind of a fish to rear? Because with it, if you are to nurture or raise it, you don't actually put in a lot of production costs, you can cut them down. But before you go there, how much do you profit? Before I can tell you how you can profit, let me give you an example of a concrete fish pond where I'm standing right now. It is a two-chamber pond that are all sized at they are all sized like this. They're not any different as far as size is concerned. This fish pond where I'm standing is sized 7 feet by 7 feet, and the same with the next one where I pointed. So how can such a pond be profitable? In meters, for those of you who are good with meters, it's about 2 to 4 meters size. So how much is such a pond profitable? But before you go there, I've partitioned it to enable us do the sorting very well, because catfish by nature is carnivorous. Oh yeah, it is carnivorous. It can eat each other. The bigger ones can actually dominate. They practice the law of the jungle inside here, the pond. The bigger one takes it all. The strongest takes it all. So you need to sort them. The big ones, you put them in one side, and then the smaller ones in the other side, to give them supplement feeds and much more better feeding, to have them also boost their weight and growth. So back to profitability. To profit in a catfish venture, what do you need to do? But before we go there, how much can you profit? You can profit if you have invested, for example, 5 million in catfish farming. You can profit 15 million. Rather, you can raise a total revenue of about 15 million Uganda shillings. Why do I say that? Because of what I'm going to break for you down. Let me give an example. If I'm to stock here these 2 ponds, the total area is 7 by 14 feet. So if I'm to stock them with catfish, I'll need to stock them with about 1,000 pieces of catfish. But I cannot stock them with exactly 1,000, because I have to cater for mortality, those that are going to die. There are those that are going to die, that's what we call mortality. So I have to cater for that. So I may stock about 1,200 or 1,100 pieces. And 100 pieces. So now when I stock, that is about 550,000 to 600,000 Uganda shillings. For those of you not watching us in Uganda, I have my international viewers. You can do your math and then calculate and change your foreign exchange. The foreign exchange rate is $1 goes to about 3,700 Uganda shillings. $1 goes to about 3,700 Uganda shillings. So you can now, convert the shillings to dollars and then to your home currency. Okay, and you can now have a picture, and then we are all in class. Okay, now back to the math of profitability in catfish farming. My most interesting venture that has made me improve my life. I was, not well off, but at least I have a smile. I hope you can see it on my face because of this venture, catfish farming. Why catfish farming? Because you don't change the water level, like for the case of tilapia. With tilapia, a kilo will go for much more higher price, but when you are putting a lot to produce it. Catfish, a kilo will go for lesser price a little, but not too less. but when you have spent less in production, as you're going to see. So now, to stock here with that 11,000 catfish or 12,000, rather to stock the this pond with the 1,100 catfish or 1,200 catfish, you need about 600 Uganda shillings, 600,000 Uganda shillings. That is 0.6 million of Uganda shillings. Then construction of this pond, to construct and have this partitioning, it cannot take you more than 2 million. It can take you almost 1.5. 2 million if you have done concrete, cement, first class, bricks. Probably have used the clay bricks, which can withstand much more bit of water. But for me, I use the usual sand, the usual clay one. So that's what it is. So that entire construction of buying the bricks, the river sand, the lake sand, paying the builders cannot exceed 2 million Uganda shillings. Let's say at maximum. Stocking the fish cannot exceed 600,000. So when you're done with that, the other thing we need to calculate is having your pond filled with water. But before constructing this material, if where you are is not secure, cannot take you more than 800,000 Uganda shillings. But probably you can even have your poles laid and you just put a wire mesh to prevent kids from falling. But never do your concrete pond. This is a warning. Many people do this mistake. Don't construct a fish pond and you leave it just bare, because kids will fall into and you get into problems. And the security people will ask you whether you did any protective measure and you didn't do, and you'll be in for it. So back to profitability. So 2 million construction, 600, that is stocking the fish, 600,000 is stocking the fish, 800,000, that is having the structure. If you do it with a wire mesh, it will be much more cheaper. Probably it will not even exceed 400,000 shillings fencing around. And a mesh is better because sun will be letting in and the fish will actually enjoy, because you also need direct sunlight. But for me, I've used this. Hope you can see it in the rays and some bit of light getting into in my face. So 2 million plus the 600 or the 0.6 m, that's 2.6, plus the 0.4 m in Uganda shillings, that's about 3 million. So my dear colleagues, the next thing you do is us calculating the cost of putting in the water into your pond. How much water do you need? 10% of the total volume of the water that you have in your pond for every 2 weeks. How do you calculate it? You say length of the pond times width of a pond, the entire pond, then times height, then times 1,000. The figure you're going to get is the amount of water that is in your pond. So now you calculate 10% of that is what you will keep on replenishing, For example, if your pond is having 10,000 liters, let's say now these two chambers can have about 12,000 liters. Now if the two chambers have 12,000 liters all combined, you can only replace 1,200 liters for every 2 weeks. That's what you pull out the pipe and goes out, and then you replace. How do I know that it is 1,200 that has gone out? You'll actually calculate the height of what has gone out. I'll make a video of that and you get to know. But now we're in profitability. The water that you need cannot exceed 1.5 million Uganda shillings in terms of costs. Probably if you have your tank, you can harvest water from your house, from this kind of structures. If it is what you use, you didn't actually fence with a wire mesh. You have these iron sheets, you can actually collect water from them, from your house, rooftop. That water is enough to have you 1,200 liters for every 2 weeks to replace the two chambers that I'm standing in that can culture 1,000 to 1,500 catfish. So the next cost, which we have not talked about, is maybe the feeding costs. It does not now exceed 1.5 million Uganda shillings. That is in terms of buying the feed. So calculate the cost that you're going to feed with the fish as that. You can convert dollars and you're at your home currency. It is roughly around that, not too far from that. Why? Because you're going to use supplement feeds like the chicken entrails, or what we call the chicken offals. Talk about the duckweed. I'm going to teach you and Azola how you can grow such water plants aside on some tarpaulin or what we call dam liner, and then you bring and you put them on water. They're rich in proteins. So you can, that feeding cost is just enough of 1.5 Uganda million shillings. So keep on following. You're going to learn how you can cut down cost of feeding to that. So away from that, what are the cost? No, maybe a camera of only 100,000 shillings, Uganda shillings, a simple one to watch over and scare some thieves, and maybe people who may pour chemicals. No much cost away from that, because even the home people, whoever is aged 15, 13 above years can actually come and pour here food in your catfish pond, because the catfish only feed 2 times a week, brother, 2 times a day. So let's calculate the cost. 2 million construction, 600,000, that is stocking the feed, rather the fish. 400, that is fencing around 400,000. Talk about that is around 3 million. I talk about 800,000 shillings. Probably to okay, we talked about the cost of putting up a structure of fencing. Use the one of fencing. That's about 3 million in total costs, from construction, fencing to stocking. Then the water, we said 1.5, that is now 4.5. Then feeding 1.5, that is taking us to 6 million. Probably, let's say 6.5, 500 for miscellaneous. Can actually have your culture 1,000 to 1,500 catfish. So, but that fish can actually raise a total amount of meat, should I call it meat, or weight of fish of about 2 tons, because each fish at the end of 8 months that we have calculated in terms of costs can not go below 1 kilogram. Some will be 2.5, some will be 1.5, some may be 2.5. So average is 2 kilogram per fish times 1,000 that is stocked. The 200 was to cater for mortality, 200 catfish heads. So you have your 2 tons. The 2 tons, each kilogram goes for about 7,750 or 8,000 in Uganda, and depending on the season, it varies. So the dry season is a bit expensive. So now that can bring you to how much? Let's say 70,000 the least times the 2 tons. That's about 14 million when you use the 6.5 or 7. So you see, it's good profit, but you can even profit more than that, up to a tune of 16, tune of 18 million, depending. But for my budget at a lower cost. So most probably, even if worst comes to the worst, when you have followed all the steps that I guide you with here, when you culture your catfish, you cannot fail to raise an amount which is equal to what you invested in 6 months or 8 months. So thanks for viewing the channel. I remain the Ugandan farmer for today, Chibiru John Mary. Thanks for subscribing. Keep up the spirit. Encourage others to do the same. Salute. Remain fish farmers for life.